the shadows, his light had yet to expose.
All right, thank you so much, and thank you guys for coming. Good evening and welcome. This is the LionSong Project. This is my senior recital, and my name is Brian Craddock. I'm excited to welcome you here this evening. This is going to be a show where we actually walk through the Chronicles of Narnia, which I know is a kid's story, but C.S. Lewis said that any child's story that is only enjoyable for children is not a good child's story in the slightest. So through the lens of these stories, we're going to be tackling some kind of deep subjects. But it is actually in these stories that I grew to be the man that I am today and the songwriter that I am today, because these were the first stories rather, that really came alive for me. And I fell in love with the story because of these stories. And so when it came time to write music for my senior recital, it was a no-brainer. I knew I wanted to write about these stories because they were the ones that spoke to me the clearest. So tonight we're going to be walking through all of these stories, and hold on to your hats. It's going to be a great ride. It's going to be awesome. Actually, one of the really cool things to come out of this project is I partnered with this guy back here, Victor Mendez, and he and I did an EP together where we've got 5 songs from this set tonight. From these songs, we've got 5 of them on an EP, and we're going to listen to them tonight out in the other room while we have some chips and salsa, which is probably the reason that some of you guys are here, is for those chips and salsa. So we're going to have fun, listen to some music, and then we're going to listen to some more music and eat some chips. So take a deep breath. Let's dive into this together. Come on by now, stay for a while, oh, leave all your troubles far behind. Take some rest from stress and resist your aging mind. Join me here in the new world, somewhere in between the world that we have seen and the one that we're going to. Adventure has begun, a silent song that's sung from the new world. Dive right in there, the water's fine here, in the deepest end of the pool. Way to the middle and get rid of the world surrounding you. Join me here in the new world, somewhere in between the world that we have seen and the one that we're going to. Adventure has begun, a silent song that's sung from the new, the new, the new world. Somewhere in between the world that we have seen and the one that we're going to. Adventure has begun, a silent song that's sung from the new, yeah. Somewhere in between the world that we have seen and the one that we're going to. Adventure has begun, a silent song that's sung from the new, the new world. Your silence like the tuning note of your redemptive symphony is filling every forest, field and grove with hope of what the song will be. When the pen is pressed upon the page and the word splits through the white, but for now a groan and join the winter wait and pray our hope survives. Our hope survives while we wait, while we wait, while we wait. But it feels like we've been here 100 years,
the sway of time. Oh, it feels like we've been here 100 years, and our hope may not survive, may not survive. While we wait, while we wait, while we wait, while we wait, you to come and bear your teeth. For winter's curse and death to finally meet. For you to lift your head and shake your mane. Bring to us your spring again. We lift our eyes to the shining sea, from whence our help is sure to come. And we wait for you to finally complete the work that you've begun. So one of the beautiful things about Lewis is that he wrote stories that connect with people. And the reason that those stories connected with people is because he wrote about real life. He didn't write about things that only could happen in a fantasy world. He wrote about things that happen in our world, in your world, and in mine. He wrote about things like addiction through the lens of a boy who gets turned into a dragon. And for the little boy who was addicted, that was so powerful. Because in this story of Eustace Scrubb, he falls asleep on a dragon's hoard. So, that doesn't happen in real life. And he gets turned into a dragon because of the dragonish thoughts in his heart, which doesn't really happen in real life. But what does happen in real life is that you get transformed into a beast because of what is within you. And one day you look into the mirror and you don't know who this person is anymore. You don't recognize this person. And this is a story that connects with everyone because it's everyone's story. It's my story. So I, in the Chronicles of Narnia, connected with two boys. One was Edmund. And I thought, oh man, I'm Edmund. I betray the people I love for something that can give me this instant gratification of the Turkish delight. But then I read the Voyage of the Dawn Treader, and I realized, no. I'm not Edmund, I'm Eustace. I'm the little jerk that no one really likes because I'm a little jerk, and I don't know it. And then suddenly, when I know it, is when something can change, because for Eustace, the only person who could tear him free of his beast was the lion. And it is only at the hands of the lion that I can be free from the beast of my flesh. So this next song that we're going to do is called Dragon Skin. And in this song, it really links my story with Eustace. This is one of the hardest ones to write, and sometimes I think that makes it even more beautiful. So I hope you guys like it. is different now. I can feel it in my bones. For now my secret dwells where my innocence lay before. And everything is different now. Can see it on my face. See the beast that I've become. And there's no one else to blame. No one else to blame. No one else to blame. Oh, my dragon skin, it has come to light at last. No longer tucked within, I cannot hide the thing I am. Oh, my dragon skin. And everything is different now. My fate has wrapped me tight. Dragon skin, it has come to light at last. No longer tucked within, I cannot hide the thing I am. Oh, my dragon skin. Everything is different now. I can feel it in my chest. For you have torn me out and wrapped me in yourself.
So throughout the Narnia stories, one of my favorite things is that Aslan calls Lucy his dear heart. Now, this is a pretty special thing, and I really, really wanted to call my little girl dear heart. Kind of all of a sudden and out of the blue about a year into her life. But still, I really, really wanted to call her dear heart. And she's right there. There's my little Nora girl. Hey, baby girl. So I really wanted to call her dear heart, and for a week straight, I put her to bed, and I would kiss her on the head. I always do the same thing. I kiss her once, and I say, I love you, sweetheart. I kiss her again. I say, night-night, baby bird, which is another nickname I have for her. It's probably why the story ends the way it does. And then I kissed her again and said, I love you, my little dear heart. And she looked at me. She put her hand up on my beard, and she said, no, Daddo. I'm not dear heart. I'm just Nora. I think I gave her too many nicknames. I don't know. Maybe she just didn't like that one. But my little just Nora and I went camping with the rest of the family, Hannah and Jude. And we went and had an amazing time. It was awesome to just unplug from the world of concrete and go and make a fire and sleep in a tent. And, no one really sleeps well in a tent, but you mean well. It's supposed to be really fun. And so we unplugged from nature. We unplugged from the world and plugged into nature. And really, actually, the point is that I didn't unplug from the world, and I was so kind of wrapped up in my own thing. I was like, I gotta make the fire and do this, and I got dinner and whatever. And Nora walked over to me and said, Daddo, do you want to dance with me? And I didn't quite really hear at first, and then she said, dance, Daddy, dance. Because she's very opinionated, my little just Nora. So I could not help but draw a line between that little girl asking her daddy to dance and Lucy dancing in the trees with Aslan in the story of Prince Caspian, because, my brain has been glued into Narnia for like 2 years while I wrote this. And I could not help but see my little dear heart asking me to go dance in the trees. So this song is written and inspired from that little moment with my baby girl. So this one's for you, my little just Nora. Sun shining into the trees, her little hand pulls me along to show me the secrets there under the leaves, buried like treasures of old. And it's here that I fear that my world is too loud, too cluttered, too clouded to breathe. But she whispers her heart as she pulls me around, and she asks me to sway with the trees. She says, dance, daddy, dance. Come on and dance here with me and the trees. So we twirl hand in hand, learning the steps from the oak and the beech. She says, dance, daddy, dance. And I say, dream, dear heart, dream. Every step I think that I start to see a curious movement between the branches that seems like much more than a breeze as the limbs find their way to the beat. And it's here that I hear at the heart of the forest the voice of the shepherding tree. He whispers the might of the magic before us as we dance, my dear heart and me. She says, dance, daddy, dance. Come on and dance here with me and the trees. So we swirl steps from the oak and the beach. She says, dance, daddy, dance, and I say, dream, dear heart, dream. She says, dance, daddy, dance, come on and dance with me and the trees. So we twirl hand in hand, learning the steps from the oak and the beach. She says, dance, daddy, dance, come on and dance here with me and the trees. So we swirl hand in hand, learning the steps from the oak and the beach. She says, dance, daddy, dance, and I say, dream, dear heart, dream. I see the stone, pale and cold, the parchment for the story told. And this is light, low and low, casting shadows through the smoke. And this is life, so I'm told. Reality is what you know. So I just bravely face the show. But still I cannot help but hope for more. Am I a fool that I believe that there is more than what I see? Should I just close my eyes and breathe the poison that is taking me? Will I just close my eyes? Poison that is taking me. More. And I know that it's a dangerous game, and there's a chance I might get burned. But what is life without the pain that makes the beauty what it's worth? And more. So one of the saddest stories in the Chronicles of Narnia is that of Susan Pevensey. Now, if you haven't read the Chronicles of Narnia, first of all, shame on you. You can laugh, that's okay. Second of all, sorry for the spoilers. So Susan, at the end of the story, it comes out that she is no longer a friend of Narnia. She has given up the beauty and the joy of her childhood in the face of what she thinks will bring her joy and beauty in adulthood. She has left the faith, as it were. So this story, actually, Lewis got a lot of flack for. A lot of people wrote him a lot of letters saying, how could you do this to Susan? This was you. This was not Susan. She did not write these books. This was you. And you took Susan away from us, and we'll give her back. and so Lewis essentially, well, he said no. And then eventually, he kind of gave in and said, okay, well, I guess she could have gotten to Aslan's country later if she came back to the faith, and then she died a natural death. But more spoilers, so sorry, not sorry. The Pevensey children, except for Susan, are killed in the last book. So let that sink in for those of you who haven't read the books. So they are killed, and they go to Aslan's country, but Susan is not on the train station during the accident that kills her brothers and her sister. So she lives the rest of her life alone. And it is that loneliness that pulls her back to Aslan in the end. But in that interim, she's not a friend of Narnia. That we read about that. And so this song is my letter to that Susan that has not come back to Aslan yet. This is my letter to her that says, please come home. This is called Susan's Song.
Susan, dear Susan, you've lost your way. You traded your kingdom for the games that you play. You've run from the Father and the gifts that He gave. Susan, dear Susan, you've lost your way. And sister have left and gone home. You're left to remember when you weren't so alone. Come back to the old paths, remember your days. Susan, dear Susan, you've lost your way. Flowers and candles have cluttered the ground, and tears for Queen Susan are shed all around. Susan, dear Susan, you are lowered below. In that box like the wardrobe, they are sending you home. In that box like the wardrobe, you are finally home. beginning of time to the end. This second has existed in your hand. Never soon to be what has been. For now it's just a concept felt by man. Now it's just a concept felt by man. Ooh. Oh, but I find little comfort that you see the future where my sufferings will cease. You won't say what may become of me while you're safely there inside eternity. Oh, you're safely there inside eternity. Just to witness of the end from the start. You're an ever-present helper in my time of desperate need, incarnate in the moments where I never dared to dream that you would be.
Thank you so much, guys. Hey, thank you all for being here. This would be super awkward if y'all weren't here. So thanks for being here. I'm gonna cheat a little bit and slide this little handy dandy piece of paper out of my pocket. It's been in there the whole time. Y'all had no idea. So this piece of paper is so I don't forget to thank anybody, because my memory is horrible, and even worse when spotlights are on you. I think that's provable fact that your memory just right out your brain when spotlights are on you. So I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. That's you guys, all of you. I will thank you personally later, but hey, thanks for coming out and enjoying this night of music with me. This has been a blast, and you guys have been great. I didn't expect y'all to clap. That meant a lot to me, so genuinely thank you for doing that. So let me start from that side of the room and work my way this way. I would like to thank that guy back there, Victor. He's making sure you guys can hear us, so his job's super important. Also, thanks for all your work going into the EP, man. It sounds great, and you were a huge part of that, so thank you so much. To Natalie, the tech assistant, thank you so much. Every time that screen is changed, her finger's on the button, so thank you so much. And thanks for all the work that you've done. Thank you to David Lewis, who's back there doing all the lighting changes, for running lights, but not only for running lights, this beautiful space, Living Hope. David, you are to thank for us being able to do this show here, and it's just been a delight to get to know you, and thank you so much for the use of this space, and also for the use of your time. You've put so much effort into this show, and you've made it so much better than it was, and I'm so grateful for you. Thank you, David. Now, working this way, like I said, I already thanked you guys, so technically it's not really right, but whatever. Over here on the lead guitar is Mr. Dylan Betts. Thank you so much, man. You're awesome. On this side of me is Mr. Nick Tebby on rhythm guitar, and that synth, if you can feel it in your chest, that's because Nick is here. So thank you so much. And speaking of feeling it in your chest, the music, thank you to Mr. Chuck back there. You're awesome. Thank you for all your input in the music and in arrangement. You've been a huge help, and thank you for playing bass and playing on the recording. All you guys, you're all awesome. And then very back there in the back, Mr. Andrew Pfluger on those drums. Andrew was the first person that I met at Visible Music College, and we were both old, so we hit it off. So thanks for your friendship, buddy, and thanks for playing drums. I would also like to speaking of Visible, thank you to Ken, who can't be here tonight. I was sad that he emailed me this morning and said, I was really planning on coming, and I can't. So to the ethereal Ken, wherever you are, thank you for Visible and what Visible has meant in our lives. It's been hard. It's been a hard season, but it's also been a good one. Sometimes the best things in life are the most difficult. And so also, I think that's you back there, Neo. Is that you right there? Yeah. Thank you to Neo. She's my songwriting professor and instructor. She's been a huge source of help for all of these songs. They sound decent because Neo heard them first. So thanks, Neo. Yeah. And thank you to, I'm not looking at my sheet. I'm going to forget somebody. Hang on a second. Let me just make sure. Okay, Chuck, David. Okay, yep. So I would also like to thank my parents, who are right over there. You guys, yeah. Mom, you read these stories to me. You recorded them on a little cassette player. Now, for everyone who wasn't born before 1995, a cassette is a little box-looking deal. It's got 2 holes in it, and you put it in a machine, and you hit play, and then you have to rewind it when you're done. So just look it up. Just Google it. Ask Siri about it. So thank you, Mom, for reading those stories. Dad, thank you for giving us a home where music could exist. I took piano lessons because you worked your tail off. So I am here. I am the man that I am today because you have been the man that you have been my whole life. Thank you. This is the part where I start crying, so just fair warning. I don't have a handkerchief or anything, so it's just going to be messy. Thank you to my friends. You guys, that sort of encompasses everybody. But you guys are a huge source of inspiration in my life. My brothers, my aunt, my uncle, my cousins, my best friend, Justin, he's heard most of these songs, I think, at least seen the lyrics, because I text him to him like, dude, does this sound stupid? And he usually says yes, and then tells me how to do it better. Anyway, to my in-laws, you guys have been completely amazing and so supportive. So my other mom and dad, thank you for so many incredible blessings, not the least of which is that wonderful woman who's sitting next to you, who I will get to after I thank my kids, because I gotta thank Hannah last, or it's just not gonna be pretty. To my kids, this little Jude guy sitting right here. Yeah, man. You're my rock, buddy. And I love you. I remember the first time you looked in my eyes, and I looked at you and I said, man, you got some lips. Those are my first words to my son. You're amazing, kiddo. I love you. Little bird, I don't know if you're sleeping or awake. You are such an incredible and constant source of joy and inspiration. Your middle name is Joy, and it is well-deserved. You make our house a place of laughter, a place of love, sometimes a place of screaming, but usually laughter and love. And baby girl, we love you, and I love you. I haven't even started yet. I'm already starting to tear up. To my Hannah. I don't need this. I couldn't write it down because I cried every time I started. Every time that I think to myself that I have sacrificed for us, every time I think to myself that this season has been hard, you've been right there with me. You've held me up when I wanted to quit, to run. And in spite of everything that I am, you love me. And I don't know why. Guys, find a girl that loves you and you don't know why. That's the secret. Side note, that wasn't really to Hannah. I can't wait to see our kids grow up. Maybe more than 2. This isn't an announcement. This is not an announcement. But I love you, sweetheart. I'm not crying. I can't believe it. I have so much more to say that I will start blubbering if I say. So I'm going to just leave it there and just say thank you for everything. You already know what all the everythings are. All the little things, all the big things. All the hard things, all the sad things. All the joyful things. Thank you. Okay, now, I put my paper away too soon. There's a little guy on here I want to read to you. This is a quote from the last page of the last book called The Last Battle. It's a lot of lasts like that. I grew up Baptist, I don't know if you can tell. So C.S. Lewis says this as Aslan. He says, as himself. Sorry, my bad. And for us, meaning him and his readers, this is the end of all the stories. And we can most truly say that they all lived happily ever after. But for them, it was only the beginning of the real story. All their life in this world and all their adventures in Narnia had only been the cover and the title page. Now, at last, they were beginning chapter 1 of the great story which no one on earth has read, which goes on forever and in which every chapter is better than the one before. So here's to some better chapters. Sing this with us, sing it in. One more time, here it comes.
Shaking through the trees. Can you feel it, child? Feel it move through the earth and underneath. Every step leads you further out and away from the shadowland soul. Closer now. stories that I write? Is there a death that doesn't lead to life? So don't lose heart there on the ground. Dear heart, you are homeward bound. Never in the stories that I write is there a death that doesn't lead to life. So don't lose heart there on the ground. Dear heart, you are homeward. Every step leads you further out and away from the shadowland soul. Every breath brings you closer now, further out, further in. Every step leads you further out and away from the shadowland soul. Every breath brings you closer now, further out, further into your home. Further out, further into your home. Further out, further into your home.
All right, thank you guys so much. There's chips and salsa that direction. So you guys enjoy some chips and salsa. We're going to listen to an album, which is going to be awesome. And I'm going to get to see everyone without spotlights in my face. So you guys go enjoy some salsa, and I'll see you guys in a second.